What is up, Cowboys Nation? Listen, it is Wednesday night. It's time for another episode of Cowboys Cave. And for those of you that were hoping to see Mike Tag to my left or Mike Tag to my right, surprise, it's just your boy K9 here tonight, rolling the show solo, running a little bit late because Mike's has some things going on in Houston. And we thought for a minute, we might just have to cancel the show. I couldn't make tomorrow night work. He couldn't make tonight work, but he's probably going to make tomorrow night work and come on and do a little show. But tonight, we decided it would be good for me to come on here and perform some group therapy with the people that I love hanging out with so much. And that's the Cowboys Cave Familia. So your boy Kelly K9 is here for the interim for tonight, running the show. When the cat's away, the mice must play. Yeah, cat's away, the mice must play. Got a little glass of whiskey here, right here. Some Whiskey Wednesday. So tastes so good. How is everybody doing tonight after the demoralizing, dare I say embarrassing loss to the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football? How's everybody feeling? I feel like it was definitely a game. That was a winnable game. It's one of those games where you think to yourself, we should win this game. Jacoby Brissett is starting. Kyler Murray is not playing. Dallas Cowboys should win this game. Let me tell you guys something. I did think we were going to win this game, but I'm going to be honest. I thought to myself, it wouldn't surprise me if we lost. And, as crazy as that sounds, I just started getting this weird feeling before the game, and I just thought, we're going to lose. We're going to lose to the Cardinals. And it's just one of those gut feelings. And then as soon as the game started, man, my feelings were confirmed. My suspicions became reality. And this team took to the field. And for those that sit there and want to talk about the defense and how bad the defense has been, and it's not on Dak Prescott, it's not on this offense. Look, can't say that about this last Monday night. You can't say that about this Monday night game against the Cardinals because the offense looked like absolute. And no offense to hot dog shit, but I can't insult them like that. We look like cold dog feces. Cold dog feces. That's what this Dallas Cowboys team looked like. The offense, the defense, everything. Special teams, trash. Absolute trash. And there's just really no other way to put it, man. There was a lack of effort on offense. The offensive line couldn't block for Dak. Dak couldn't complete a pass to save his life. And he was running for his life the whole night, but he played bad. I'm not gonna say that he didn't. He played bad. The receivers ran half routes. The defenses gave up big plays. We're uncovered. We're going wild. And it was just a complete and utter failure from top to bottom from this entire team. And the thing is the question always comes about is, do you blame the coaches? Do you blame the players? But everybody always looks to blame somebody, right? Everybody always wants to blame and find who it is that we can point the finger at. It's the defense played terrible, Dak played good, or Dak played bad. And the defense played good. Everybody's to blame here. Period. Everybody's to blame in this loss for Monday night. Everybody. Every single person. Jerry Jones, Schottenheimer, Eberflus, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Tyler, every motherfucking name that was on that damn roster. All the coaches, staff, down to the damn water boy. Down to the water boy. Every one of them is to blame. That was a complete embarrassment of a football game. It was an embarrassment to all the fans that had to sit through that and watch it in person. In person. Shout out to, to the boys that was in attendance for that game. I feel for y'all, man. I had to watch it. I watched it at the house. So luckily I was able to start disconnecting, take a little nap in the third quarter. Because all the emotions was out the window. I never for a minute had a doubt that we were going to lose this game after about the first quarter. Yeah, Fred, the water boy had empty water bottles. You're right. He did. Everybody failed. Everybody failed. It was an utter failure. And it's just terrible to see because in an NFC that I thought to be more or less wide open, right? Congrats to you, Mark, for staying to the end. I would have had to put a paper bag on my head. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Gosh, as I adjust my hat, I want to give a shout out to Cuts by Jones for the fresh lid. Let me get that right there. You don't get that little logo for the fresh lid. Cuts by Jones, a guy who has done so much for this show and does so much for Cowboys Nation community. Before I forget, I do want to say thank you for that, man. This came in today, looks fresh. Got the Dallas Cowboys star on the side right here. Oh, look at that. That looked pretty, don't it? That looked pretty. Anyway, shout out to you, Cuts, man. And Mark, y'all were in the stands, and Mike was in the stands, and just so many other diehard Dallas Cowboys fans that were there for that game, that were hoping for some kind of life. We were clinging on to something. We were living on a prayer. We was living on a damn prayer like John Bon Jovi in that game because we thought if we could just win this game, just get a win going into the bye, Cowboys Nation, and then Jerry Jones can get out there and make a couple of trades and get us some traction and we can climb back into this thing. And Jacoby Brissett came in and said, not so fast, my friend. Pimp slapped the Dallas Cowboys defense. And the Dallas Cowboys defense pimp slapped the Dallas Cowboys offense. And Carl, yeah, you're right. The division right now, the division does belong to the Eagles. I mean, let's just be real, Cowboys Nation. We got to be real about that. Now, listen, Carl, I'm going to let you know this is a Dallas Cowboys show. It will remain a Dallas Cowboys show. So we're not going to sit here and glaze the Eagles and talk about the Eagles. Yes, I'm not going to sit here and deny it. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. But I'm also not going to sit here and give the Eagles any type of credit like they're any superstar mega team that's going anywhere this year, because I don't believe that they're going anywhere. You still got a mediocre quarterback getting carried by great team and great performance. Your quarterback is still mid. I'm not worried about the Eagles in the postseason. I'm just going to say that. So back to the Cowboys, though, a complete and utter failure, top to bottom. Then Jerry Jones comes out and Jerry Jones, in Jerry Jones-esque fashion, before the game, announces that he's making a trade, but he's not going to tell us who the trade is for, right? What other team will you have that makes a trade like that and then says, I'm going to keep it a secret? That's not a serious owner. That's not a serious owner. It's really not. Cowboys Nation is not a serious owner, because what does it matter? You made these trades too late to save this season. And just for those of you that think that the season is still salvageable, I'm sorry, I can't go there with you. I know there's some out there right now that say, yeah, well, we can turn this thing around. Listen, these trades are not for this year. These trades are going to help next year. They'll help for the remainder of this year. And you know what? This team, in pure Jerry fashion, may end up being better to the point that the only thing they're going to do is make their draft pick that much higher by improving the team after it's too late to get to the playoffs, but still in enough time to improve your draft pick from currently right now being a top 10 draft pick to now probably picking late in the teens, maybe early 20s. That's what Jerry Jones did with these trades. So while I can be appreciative of them, they'll help for next year. But at this point, I would have just rather you started moving players and acquiring more draft picks and then maybe making trades in the off season. Maybe getting to Quinnen Williams in the offseason if you can. I know the Jets were really trying to move him. There was probably other suitors. Maybe that doesn't happen, but you can't tell me that you couldn't make a trade for another guy. It's ultimately just very frustrating to see. Very frustrating. And for the crowd that's out here that, wants to talk about, because there are some people out here who still tell me that the Cowboys have a chance that getting Logan Wilson, that getting Quinnen Williams, that getting back Overshown and getting Revel in, that this Cowboys team still has a chance. I'm just going to let you know real quick. First of all, we're not catching the Eagles in the division. Nobody thinks that, right? So the path to the playoffs by winning the division, that's over. It's out, right? You've got a Green Bay team that's in first place of the NFC North with a 5-2 record, 5-2-1. You've got the Lions at 5-3, the Bears at 5-3, the Vikings at 4-4. Every single team in the NFC North has a better record than the Cowboys right now. You've got the Buccaneers at 6-2, heading up the NFC South. Behind them, you've got the Panthers at 5-4, also in front of the Dallas Cowboys. You've got the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Niners. 3 more teams. 2 that are outside of the winning that division that are all ahead of the Dallas Cowboys. You, as the Dallas Cowboys at 3-5-1, already basically, you might as well just count that as a loss because it's a game that takes away from any tiebreakers. Should you be able to somehow miraculously sneak into the playoffs or get the same record, I should say, as some of these teams that are in front of you, and there are many teams in front of the Dallas Cowboys right now. And it's not the fact that teams are in front of the Dallas Cowboys. It is how this Dallas Cowboys team has looked up to this point. And let's face it, this Cowboys team has looked putrid. They've looked bad. The offense has looked good. The defense has looked bad. And then the defense looked, still bad. And then the offense decided, we're going to be bad too. And the offense decided that they would follow up suit. And the offense hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks either. They didn't look great against the Broncos. They did not look great against the Cardinals. 2 consecutive weeks that, you think your offense should be able to go out there, and with the performances that they've had and with some of the playmakers that they have, you're thinking that your offense should be able to go out there and put up points on the Broncos. Even though the Broncos had a great defense, we all know that they had a great defense, but you're thinking, you know what? Patrick Surtain goes out of that game. You're thinking, certainly we're going to be able to pick on these, this inexperienced cornerback that's filling in for Patrick Surtain. Excuse me, I was wanting to say Trayvon Diggs. And, we didn't capitalize in that situation. And then you got a Cardinals team that's coming in that doesn't look that great. And then, you still can't do anything against them. And then, your defense obviously is never going to help you out. So that's just another bad scenario for this team. Ethan says, despite looking like dog shit, the Cowboys have made moves that should set us up for another big run with Dak in the next couple of years. And that's fine. I get that. I don't disagree with that. I do think that this is a move for the future. The problem with it that I have is that we could have made moves to set ourselves up for the future in the offseason. You know what I mean? We could have done this in the offseason. when we decided that we were going to trade, if the Cowboys really all this time were going to trade and move on from Parsons, why didn't they do this pre-draft so that the Cowboys could have added another, first round draft pick in the draft this year, or traded a draft pick to pick up somebody like a Quinnen Williams before the season started? We knew this team was absolutely paper thin at cornerback to start the season. We knew that this team had no defensive tackles. Yes, with the trade, they brought in Kenny Clark. That definitely improved things, but we knew that we were having problems stopping the run. The linebackers were questionable. There was weaknesses across this rush. Who's going to rush the passer, right? There was weaknesses all across this defense at every single level. All three levels of the defense had holes, and the Dallas Cowboys chose not to fill them. When they decided that they were going to move on from Micah Parsons, that automatically frees up space for them to make moves in the offseason. So while I will I'm not going to say credit, because I don't think he deserves credit for doing something he is supposed to do. I do see the value, and I do see the optimism for getting a Quinnen Williams for the next couple of years in the window that the Cowboys want to try to plan for Dak Prescott. My problem is that with this season, we wasted another year of Dak Prescott not doing things that we had the opportunity to do before the season. We had opportunity, if we move the right way, to do things before the season started, so that this defense doesn't have more holes than Swiss cheese, and that this defense does look like they're capable of stopping a nosebleed. We had the opportunity to do these things before the season started. With this offense that has playmakers, granted they haven't paid plays the last couple of weeks, but playmakers with CeeDee Lamb, with George Pickens, with the resurgence of Jake Ferguson, with a great running back like Javonte Williams, the season just feels wasted. It just feels wasted. Because if you make some of these moves, and again, I don't feel these moves have to be huge moves. You just improve the three levels of the defense. You improve them. Once you make the decision you're getting rid of Micah Parsons, you make that move before the draft. And you can maneuver much differently, whether that's trading for veteran players or adding talent through the draft. And I just felt like it was wasted. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was wasted, because the future is not promised. And we don't know. We assume Dak Prescott has another 2 years. That's not guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed in life, let alone football. There's no guarantee Dak Prescott don't go down with a season-ending injury next year. And then what? And then what? I just wish that Jerry Jones would play for the moment and play for the now. I really do. I wish he would push like he says he would do, because Jerry Jones often talks about his own mortality and his own age, but his actions don't line up with his words. His actions do not line up with his words, because what he says and what he does are two totally different things. He talks about how bad he wants to win. He talks about the fact that he needs another Super Bowl before he dies, but he is not moving like other organizations move. And what's crazy is he'll make a move like the George Pickens move, right? It got us all hyped. Then he made the Micah Parsons trade, and people were just flipping out. And then after a little while, people put some perspective into it and said, you know what, maybe this is a good move, because look what it netted us, couple more first-round picks, Kenny Clark, right? This got us some things. Maybe we're going to do something with these things. We see how bad the defense is, and the Cowboys, we're thinking, okay, Cowboys got to see this. They're probably going to make a move. They've got draft picks. They've got draft capital. They're likely going to make a move here, right? We're thinking that. No move was made. We watch this Cowboys team lose to a Chicago Bears team. Caleb Williams lights us up. Man, this defense sure does look bad. You know, Cowboys got them draft picks. Maybe they'll make some moves. There's some teams out there that are looking pretty bad. There's some teams that you can just watch. The New York Jets, you could watch them. You knew that team was not going anywhere. I mean, that team hadn't won a game. I think they were 0-6 before they won their first game. Granted, maybe closer to the trade deadline, Quinnen Williams became cheaper. But I don't know that. I think if you want to get a deal done bad enough, you can get one done in this league. And I feel like the Cowboys blew an opportunity because they waited until it was already too late to make a trade. And I truly do think that, I think that it is fool's gold for anybody that believes that this team is going to do something this year and somehow make a playoff appearance. It's crazy. Vegas gives them a 7% chance. 7% chance to make the playoffs. I mean, that's a 93% chance that they don't. I mean, come on, guys. We got to be realistic when it comes to that. Let's at least be realistic when it comes to that. I'm not sitting there and saying that you got to be all negative and doom and gloom, and this thing doesn't have to look as dark as sometimes it seems, but I'm just being realistic about this Cowboys team, and right now, this season is bleak. It's bleak. Let's just face it. You're stepping outside. You're hoping for sunny weather, but you're having, pumpkin-sized hail balls land on your head, and it's going to bust your bubble. All right. So come out there. Let's come out there and be prepared. Let's put a shield over our head because it's raining pumpkin balls of feces from the air right now for this season. But next season, Jerry is going to loop us all back into this thing and think that he's we're going to believe that Jerry Jones has got us back where we need to be because the players that he's acquired, right? Some healthier players, some guys will get in the draft, and fans will start to buy back in again on this Dallas Cowboys team, depending on how Jerry moves. But there's, for the fans that have seen this story play out time and time again, right? You've also got a portion of us that believe that Jerry's going to make some moves that are going to infuriate us. That maybe he doesn't franchise tag George Pickens and that he lets him walk because he says he made moves to fix the defense and that he had to invest money in the defense. And that Dak still is one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And he has said in the past, Dak needs to do more with less. So then he tells us Dak needs to do more with less. And then Pickens is gone next year. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not sitting here reading the tea leaves and telling you the future. Because if I knew how to do that, I'd be a very rich man. But I'm telling you the possibilities there. You can't say it's not. We've seen this story play out, Cowboys Nation. We can't keep being blind to the toxic behavior that the Jones family continues to exhibit year in and year out. We just can't, right? We just can't ignore it. We've seen Jerry Jones take the path of most resistance. Not least resistance. We've seen Jerry Jones take the path of most resistance, right? Because you've got media calling him out. You've got fans calling him out. You've got content creators calling him out. You've got news channels down in Dallas, former players. You've got all kinds of people that have called Jerry Jones out about the moves that he's making or lack thereof, or the way that he goes about his business. Everybody in their mouth. And as he continues to go against the grain, despite what many people know and can see for themselves and how a franchise should be run, Jerry Jones continues to do the opposite. So while we as fans are the educated consumers of this NFL business, because let's face it, I understand, yes, there's a lot of ignorant football fans out there. There are, but there are way more intelligent football fans now than there have ever been at any point in any time because of the overinflation of information that is on the internet readily available to you. You can go to PFF. You can go watch game film, rewatch teams. You can watch podcasters. You can watch content creators. You can watch former players break down the game. You've got over the cap, so salary cap, so where you can go and you can read the salary cap. All these things that you can do as a fan to educate yourself about how the NFL works. There's too many of us educated consumers out there for Jerry Jones to keep taking advantage of us and keep telling us saturation of information. Thank you. The word was on the tip of my tongue. But that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Jerry Jones and the way that he talks to us fans, when most of us are smart enough to understand that the dude is full of shit. Full of shit. And so if Jerry Jones still thinks about this fan base like this is back in the 90s, that he can feed us some of this bullshit, well, when it comes to making trades, you've got to be smart because there's only so much of the pie, and that pie has to be split, right? You've got the big brother who wants the bigger piece of the pie. He feels he's earned it. He's got the seniority, right? But then you've got little sister, right? And you've got middle brother, right? And you've got the other middle sister, okay? And then you've got your neighbor's friend, Timmy, who comes over a lot. And you're trying with this one pie to feed the whole family, right? And you need to make it equal to make it fair. But some people you might like more than another, like Dak Prescott. That greedy son of a bitch took off about 3/4 of the pie. And when it comes to, that kind of person, when they eat that much of the pie, you have no choice but to give less to other people. And some people get no pie. And think how sad those people are that get no pie, right? I want enough pie to go around to everybody in the room. But when one guy takes a majority of the pie, and that's Dak Prescott, then the rest of us, we just got to suffer. And that's just, it's an unfortunate thing about football and the salary cap and the way that it works. But, people say simple as pie. Well, pie is a lot more difficult than simple. And that's just, I hope y'all enjoyed that right there. But that's Jerry Jones talk right there. And no other damn GM and all the 31 other damn teams is talking like that, acting like that, moving like that. You got these GMs out there making all kinds of deals, man, lining up their teams. I mean, you can just look around the league, man. Look within our own goddamn division. Look at what the Eagles do. When they have weaknesses, they address them. Boom, boom, boom. They don't wait. And I hate the Eagles. Y'all know that I hate the Eagles, but just look at it, man. Look how these dudes do when they just make move after move after. They got a weakness at safety. Boom, let's go get a safety. We got a weakness pass rusher. Boom, let's go get a pass rusher. Dallas Cowboys just drag their goddamn feet all the way to the finish line, and Jerry Jones is like, well, some good publicity is better than no publicity. Shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up. Tired of hearing your same old shit, man. Dude could sell. I mean, he used to be able to. He used to be able to sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Not no more, Jerry. We're smart consumers. We're smart consumers, Jerry. He said if the Cowboys beat the Eagles at home and, of course, beat up Vegas, I'm back in the saddle. God damn it. Fuck Philly. Victor. Victor. I love you, my brother, but I don't even know that at this point we could beat the goddamn Raiders. They're going to have to show me something, man. They're going to have to show me something. Oh, look.
What is up, man?
The show.
What's going on? I've been doing a little work, so I'm kind of out of it. I got to fix. Let me see if I can fix this.
Well, hey, first of all, I want to welcome you to the show because things have been going pretty good. Things have been going pretty good, but you know what? It is beautiful to have you because I know there's people in the chat right now, little over 277 people in the chat who have been wondering about Mike Tag and where Mike Tag is at. And look at you.
They think I'm hiding
You're in
after
your
that
hurricane.
embarrassment, Kelly, the embarrassment that I had to sit through on Monday night. And then on Saturday with my canes, and I'm a Texas Tech. I'm on the Texas Tech bandwagon right now.
All right.
We're gonna get that shit done Saturday. Are we, Kelly, or what?
Alcoholics versus Mormons, baby. They took the Miami phrase, the criminals and the Catholics, and turned it into alcoholics and Mormons. I love it. It's gonna be great. College game day back in town for the first time in 17 years. Man, it's gonna be a thing of beauty. I love it. I can't wait.
I want some shirts made. I told you that. We got to make some shirts and capitalize on it.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely going to make sure that happens. I was thinking about it today and I was like, damn, I got to get me one of them shirts.
Gotta capitalize. But no, I'm sorry I missed it. I've been working. I haven't even been home yet. So I went from Dallas. I'm in Houston working and just got done with an event. I kept my Canes shirt on, so I threw my Canes hat on to match. But what have I been missing, man? What's been going on? What's the vibe?
So what? I'll give you a quick summary here. Basically, we went over kind of the debacle in Arizona, which I said, a lot of times people look for fault, and I said, in my opinion, it was from Jerry Jones all the way down to the water boy. It was everybody. It was full. Everybody was absolute horseshit, and that's kind of the first thing we went over. And I don't know how you feel, but I felt, and I want to get your opinion. I felt it was complete failure, top to bottom. I thought everybody looked like shit.
Yeah, and the thing was, you and I talked about it last week, and I always get nervous when I say must win because there's no turning back. But I feel in my heart of hearts that was a must-win game, and they shit the bed. And I don't think, the odds are obviously stacked against them. I love the moves they made. I would have loved to be, make it a little sooner. But I understand there has to be two sides, right? I mean, the people wanted to get rid of someone earlier. I don't know if they did or didn't. We'll never know, I guess. But it was probably one of the lowest points of the games I went to. And I want to ask you something because you're a passionate fan, and I know we have passionate fans, and I didn't want to be taken the wrong way, but I talked about it a little bit a couple days ago when I, just kind of went on and did a show. But I was so infuriated by the music and the band playing and people jumping and screaming and cheering and getting on the cameras. I'm miserable in my seat watching this shit take place. And it just seems like the fans, and I understand you want to get on the Jumbotron, but they're playing the music and they had the live band there. And I'm just livid in my seat. Am I wrong to what the hell, read the room? We're getting embarrassed and people are jumping around screaming and happy and cheering. Am I wrong, Kelly? I mean, what's going on?
No, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong at all. And when I'm in a game like that, I wonder if sometimes I wonder, man. I mean, our circle, the circle that we have, that we keep, I have no doubt about how we're built. Yeah. I just wonder if the day of the Dallas diehard, fan from the 90s, I don't know if we exist anymore. And I feel like it's this new age fan that just kind of
I want people to be as miserable as I am in that seat. If that camera would have came to me, it would have saw me with an angry look on my face, and I probably would have gave the finger to the camera for even putting me on there. But I'm just saying, I don't understand. The fan, this was I'm not going to equate it to the Packer game because that was the playoffs and obviously it's much big. But as a fan, and I don't know, I'd love to get your opinion because you were obviously watching it from from your home. But being there, it was just. I'll tell you, this is what I did, and I've kind of started to calm down a little bit, but I still haven't backed off. I put my Viking. I told my wife, cancel the hotel. The tickets are now up for sale. I am not coming back here and watching this shit when they're 3rd and 14 and you're giving up 18 yards and you're 3rd and 19 and you're giving up 25 yards and then you get a sack and then you give up 20 yards. It was, I don't know how it was on TV, but sitting there, it was just, it was bullshit, man. I'm just being straight. I don't
Well,
know any other way to say it.
well, it was bad, and it was bad, and I mean, what pissed me off as well was that, and I mean, look, I hate to be the guy that sounds like you can't have no fun in this game. I don't like being that guy because then people start calling me a boomer and telling me I'm old and all this shit. But I don't like seeing Dallas Cowboys players celebrate after making plays when you're down double digits either.
Absolutely
I hated
not.
seeing that. Like, don't get
Yes.
up and give me a dance and do all this first down BS when you're down scoreboard, man. Get your ass up, get back to the line of scrimmage, and go make another fucking play.
Yes, I agree.
I seen that shit and it was making me mad. That was making me mad. Like the whole, just everything about that game made me mad because it just seemed like, oh man, you got this game on primetime television and then you got to buy. And if you can win this game and Jerry makes the moves that he made, right? Because he just made some pretty significant moves.
Yeah.
If we win this game against the Cardinals 4-4, it's like feels like we're right thick into it because then we got a bye week. You're coming off, you've got that bye week, you got the Las Vegas Raiders, another perfect opportunity to stack another win, get yourself to 5-4. Now the best we can do with the win over the Raiders is get back to 500, and you've got like 8. I mean, there are so many teams right now in front of you, and by multiple games, and you have one game less because you got that tie. So like you said. This was a must-win game. Vegas now has the Dallas Cowboys at a 7% chance to make the playoffs. For those that don't understand odds, those are long, long, long odds. They're long. And Vegas typically knows what the hell they're talking about. So it wasn't a good look because it just looked like the whole team, none of them were the penalties, the just how they played, the offensive line just not blocking for Dak making bad throws. CD running some half-ass routes. It just didn't look. I mean, Troy Aikman called him out and was like, "Yeah, Lamb ran a half-ass route." You go back, you watch the route, and you're like, "God damn it, dude! Cut that route off sharper and come back to the ball. It's a first down." Everything though, and I mean, I don't blame him because I know it was a 68-yard field goal. But even Brandon Aubrey, I'm like, he's lining up for 68, and I'm thinking this thing's down money. And he misses it, which, again, it's a 68-yard field goal. I'm not going to crucify the man. But it was just more of the same in terms of nothing in that game looked right. And we didn't even look like a professional fucking football team out there.
No.
We looked like absolute amateur hour. And that was disturbing to me.
It is, and we're diehards. I mean, we're gonna ride. I mean, we're sinking with the Titanic if that's the way it is, and if they come back, we're gonna be riding high. It is what it is. But you can relate, and you can understand the passion. I had to fly in on Saturday, and watch this team shit the bed, and I had to watch a bunch of kids jump on the field and carry a goalpost past me while I'm walking down to get to my car. You know what I'm saying? And then there's no way I'm going to be disappointed twice. And then we had a phenomenal weekend, man. I sure wish you were there. We hung out with Jesse Holly and we telling some stories and cuts. Obviously the whole first take thing. I mean, it was just a great weekend. And then that Monday, the vibe, and that's why I put a tweet out and I just said, hey, I can guarantee you the Cowboys Cave will never have a tailgate on Monday. The vibe was bad. And I don't know if it's a work week, obviously this and that, but there was no reason to sit out and wait for a spot. I mean, it wasn't even full when I went into the stadium, we went in early and whatever, but it just was bad vibes on Monday. And then I'm telling you, and I don't know if you felt the same, but I did it when Mark was with me in Carolina. My wife was next to me at the game. Dallas goes down and they don't get the points. They go back. Arizona goes down the field. And it's like the third possession. I told my wife, we are losing this game. She goes, really? I said, I know this team. This team does not overcome adversity early. They need to get on a roll. And when they get on a roll, they freaking roll. But if they start off slow, it's a problem. And I just had bad vibes about 6 minutes into the game. I don't know about you.
Always the same, always the same. I can always feel the energy, and it's not just the energy, it's the body language. And it's just everything, man. The team looks so lackadaisical. I just watching them, I'm like, what? I said, man. And actually what was weird was that I started to feel like the Cowboys were going to lose before the game even started. I don't know why, man. I just started to get to, I was telling that's what I talked about at the beginning of the show. I just started having this weird feeling like I kept looking at Arizona's record, 2-5, right? And I'm like, they got Jacoby Brissett. He's, I was like, everything is just lined up for the Cowboys that we should be able to roll these dudes, man, and probably have a impressive performance. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, about 30 minutes before the game, I just started feeling weird about it. I just started getting this little gut feeling like, damn, Dallas can go out here and fucking lose this game. And literally, like you said, before the first quarter was over, I was like, this game's over.
Yeah.
This game's over. You know what I mean?
Did you see the stat? Did you see the stat on the Cardinals on Monday night?
Which one?
They've had 14 Monday night games.
Oh.
They're 0-10 on Monday night, but when they play the Cowboys, they're 4-0. Isn't that crazy? I mean, isn't it just kind of crazy? And then they were showing the Broncos and the Cardinals. I think we're 2-18 or 2-16 or whatever it is against both of those teams.
Yeah, they own us.
It's weird, but I don't know where you're going. I don't want to go backtrack. So I don't know if are you looking forward and trying to figure out. I don't know where you guys were at, but I apologize for jumping on.
No, it's no problem. We were just kind of getting through. Honestly, it was a lot of venting about things that have gone wrong in the season, things that have gone wrong in terms of the trades feel like they were made a couple of weeks too late, all that stuff. And so, and basically bringing it to kind of the present now, right? That is, what do we look at this team to do? One of the discouraging things that I had talked about right before you came on was that we were talking about a little bit how Jerry Jones, does these things. And then it's like now, if anything, this is probably will make us a little bit better, and it's just going to hurt our draft stock versus it's like, it's almost like you kind of wish the Cowboys, rather than make trades, were sellers versus being buyers now. And I get when we were talking about it's going to affect the future. This will be moves for the future. Good, great, everything. But those moves for the future should have been made previous to all of this and us getting to this point of being 3-5-1. Now it's kind of, you sit here and you look towards the future of the season. And what do you see this team, basically being coming down the stretch with this, a very difficult stretch, but a bye week, all the less. And then you've got the Raiders, and then you get into, 4 straight teams that made the playoffs last year and that all have winning records as of right now. So what do you see this team looking like for the rest of the way out the season?
Yeah. Well, I'm praying for 8 wins. I got 600 reasons why. So I'm praying.
I got some money with SoCal too. So
I'm praying for 8 wins. But honestly, when you look at the schedule, and this is why we say it's important, is you got the Raiders, and then you're home against the Eagles, which typically, they split or we play well at home. And I don't think there's any team in the NFC that is a barn burner, scary team. Everyone's, the Vikings beat the Detroit Lions, on the road. So any team get beat. And then you have Philly, and then you have short week against Kansas City, then Detroit, right? Then Minnesota on the road, home against the Chargers. And you've got, the Commanders are pretty much, I think they're done. The Giants will be done by then. So really an opportune time. And I don't know if you guys talked about it, but if you're really, this is why this game is so critical. If you were really wanting this team to make that run, now they've got to go 7-1.
Yep.
And that's 6-2 was doable. I'll be honest with you. I thought if this team played well and the offense didn't shit the bed, you have a home game against the Eagles, home game against the Chiefs, home game against, the Chargers, home game against the Vikings. You had a lot of home games in a row, home game against the Eagles. You had 5 home games. You're looking pretty good. But now it's like they haven't won 2 games in a row all year. What makes you think they can go on a 5-game winning streak or say it's just not going to happen? So for me, I'm hoping for I'm hoping to get to 8 wins. If they get above that, I'll love it. But I just need to get paid. I need to get paid, and that's kind of where they're at. And it's
Yeah.
unfortunate they put themselves in this position, and I know Eberflus gets a lot of heat, but I'm just one of these guys where I think we just got some bad players. I mean,
Yeah.
Eberflus has been a solid defensive coordinator. So when you watch the film, and I'm not a big film guy, I told you guys that I'm a fan, but I started watching some of this film, and these guys are just lost, and there's holes, and they're not in position. You can see the linebacker's supposed to fill this gap, and he's not doing it. And then they're not getting the depth that they need as well. It's just a, I think we got some bad players. I think we got bad
Yeah.
players.
Yeah. I
So
think they definitely need to look at this roster and definitely evaluate some guys. I will say this though, the interior defensive line has went from being something that we all called a weakness to now being an absolute strength when you talk about going into the future, the rest of this
yes,
season, and then into next year, when you talk about having Osa, Kenny Clark, and now Quinnen Williams in that lineup. And that's a really good interior defensive line now. Depending on how they use this thing and utilize it, but it's going to be very good. I would say that. So the rest of the season, and then obviously the future, because you get Quinnen Williams for the next couple of years now. But I think that, like you said, I just think it's too far of a stretch for the Cowboys to do much. I think they'll be competitive. The thing that I'm most looking forward to now, honestly, is the Cowboys just ruining somebody's Sunday. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're
yeah,
not going to take the Eagles out of the playoffs, but if they could beat the Eagles, I'm going to be happy, man. I'm going
absolutely,
to celebrate.
absolutely.
I'm going to celebrate that, man. And Eagles fans will come down and rain down on me and ask why I'm celebrating when we're out of the playoffs. I don't give a shit. I want to
Nope.
beat your ass. I don't care at this point. That's where I am. I just want to beat some people and maybe even ruin somebody's shot at the playoffs. It may not, it's not going to be the Eagles. They're going to win the East, but maybe somebody else. Maybe we keep somebody else out of the playoffs, or maybe we bump somebody down from a top seed to now maybe a lower seed. Whatever, I don't care. Play the spoiler, but what I really want to see is I want to see this coaching staff hold some people accountable. If there's some guys out there that are starters that aren't playing well and they're making shit plays and they're whiffing on tackles and they're bench some dudes and start making players be accountable. Like if you're going to do anything, coach effort and don't let people give up on the season. And if it looks like they're giving up, I don't care who they are, a star or the last dude, bench their ass and start letting people know this is the way we're going to build this team going forward. Discipline, effort, every single play. That's honestly what I want to see at the end of the day from this team going forward.
No, I agree. And I would I don't know if you talked about it, but what's your overall opinion of the trades? I mean, are you good with it?
Oh man, I mean, I'm yeah, absolutely. And there's people out there that are talking about Logan Williams or Logan Wilson that he was. They're like, oh, y'all traded for a guy that was on the bench. He was on the bench because he asked for a trade.
Yes.
He called out the coaches, the coaching staff, the system, and asked to be traded, and then they benched his ass. Well, he didn't get benched because he ain't a good player. Don't get that twisted. He's going to be a good linebacker, and he's going to fit well into the scheme of things and be better in run support, and he can play coverage. He is a good linebacker. I think he has like 11. I saw how he has quite a few interceptions among linebackers.
Yeah. And think about it. You're coming out of the bye with Overshown and Wilson. That's your starting linebackers. To me, it's a major upgrade, right? So you're better there. And I think the lines are better. I have an asterisk on this trade. Because I like it with one thing has to happen. You got to sign Pickens. If you don't sign Pickens, I don't like this. I don't like what they did.
Oh my God. Okay,
That's
so you missed. You'll have to go back and you'll have to watch it, but you missed a classic Jerry Jones rant. I went off into a Jerry Jones rant for probably about a good 3 minutes, and it's about pie and it's about paying people. And listen, I won't go through the whole rant again, but I will tell you what led up to that was me saying that exactly basically what you said. I said, here's the thing, Cowboys fans. You know, you're all saying, hey, you're just assuming we'll franchise tag, Pickens and we'll do this or that. I said, if Jerry, we have seen it so many times that you can't sit here and tell me that it's not a possibility that Jerry will not even franchise George Pickens. He will let him walk in the offseason because he'll say the defense needed fixed so badly that the money had to go to the defensive side of the ball versus the offensive side of the ball. And that is the thing that scares me the most, is that Jerry Jones will make a huge move like this and then counteract it by making something stupid and making a dumb decision on the offense. And Cowboys fans cannot look at you in their face and say that that is not a real, true possibility with Jerry Jones running the ship and how they operate as a franchise right now. And that's what scares me too. If you keep this core together, that defensive front, and if you keep George Pickens and you extend him via, I don't care, just franchise tag him for a year if that's what you need to do. Franchise tag, don't let him walk though.
No, this is what I would say. And I'd say a couple things. And I agree 1,000% on what you're saying. So everyone's got to look at this. Look at the offense. Offense is pretty much set for the next 3 years. Pickens is the wild card. You can't franchise him. Now, you could franchise him, but here's the problem when you franchise him. Are you now going to get the Pickens that was in Pittsburgh? Pissed off. Either you commit to him and you have the money on the offense. Now you got the defense. Now you use those draft picks on the defense. You got Quinnen Williams locked up. Kenny's going to be gone. Kenny Clark's not coming back. I mean, they're going to let him go. They can let him walk. $21 million cap savings if they cut him. They're not. You got Quinnen Williams. You got Osa. You're gonna use your depth there. You're upgraded. You're fine. Eazy-E is. I mean, that was his best game that I've seen. I mean, obviously being live, I don't get the replays, so you might disagree. I'm just saying from what I saw with my eyes during the game, it looked like his better game. You've got the pieces. You need to draft. I would draft nothing but defense in this draft. The beauty of the Osa trade is it's not this year's first round, it's 27. So the Cowboys have this window now. You get the offense, get Pickens locked up. Get him happy. Get this offense rolling. Draft on defense. They've got that window. Window. But if you franchise Pickens, you can do it. But understand, you're probably going to get a pissed off guy because he wants to get paid. And he's to the point where it's his time. And that you're dealing with the psyche. And we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen with Zeke when they dragged it out. You saw it with, obviously, Dak played, but they franchised him twice, and it just wasn't the same. And then you saw the whole CD. It just don't work. If you want this guy, get him the contract, get him here, and let's roll and we got a window. Let's try and take advantage of it.
And I agree with that. And I'm all for signing Pickens, and I said, I threw that hypothetical out there that got a lot of people worked up when I said if Arizona loses, I'd trade Pickens. People are like, why the hell would you want to trade Pickens? And I was, getting yelled off the cliff. But it wasn't me saying I wanted to trade Pickens. It was me saying that with the thought of if Jerry does not re-sign Pickens in this offseason and ends up letting him walk for nothing, I would absolutely rather get a draft pick back. Now, I understand they'll get a comp pick. They'll get a comp pick for him. I understand that. I'm just saying I feel like they would get a higher pick. I honestly felt like, and I had people call me out and say that there's no way in hell anybody would have. I'm not necessarily sure they would. I think Pickens could have probably gone for a first. I really do. I think to one of those teams right now that's vying for a playoff spot. Look at the Denver Broncos. You can't tell me that the Denver Broncos, that it would not be a first-round pick to put George Pickens next to Cortland Sutton in an offense that is kind of, mediocre right now. The great defense, but the offense struggles a little bit. Put a playmaker like that across from Cortland Sutton and add it to that young nucleus of Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, George Pickens. You tell me that wouldn't be a first-round pick if it could vault Denver from being a legit contender now to possibly one of the Super Bowl favorites in the AFC. I think it's worth it.
Look at what the Colts did. And they're going to say, oh, well, Sauce. They gave up 2 first-round picks and This dude just signed as one of the highest cornerbacks, which they usually would say, well, the money is, if you got to pay the guy or if you got to pay a contract, the comp goes down. They still gave up 2 first-round picks because they feel they're that close and
Yeah.
they're desperate for another cornerback to try and tighten up this defense even more to try and make a run. Now, I think it was a mistake. I think that's a lot of compensation, and you're picking up the contract. It's not even a rent a player. But teams that want to win and they see that window now, they will make those kind of decisions because out of desperation is like, hey, that's the missing piece. I will overpay because there ain't a person who's a Cowboys fan that wouldn't give up the entire draft if that were to guarantee you a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Or an opportunity
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
and that's what I'm saying too, is that when it comes to draft picks, people have to understand, man. I feel like a lot of people to put too much stock in draft picks because I think a lot of people think about it like I think about it. Like I feel like most rational people really understand this, is that a draft pick is not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. But when you trade for a player like a Sauce Gardner, if you are close, or if you trade like a player from if we were close into being a contender, but trade like a guy for Quinnen Williams, you trade for one of these huge playmakers, right? You absolutely increase your chance to win a Super Bowl. Whereas in a draft pick, that's a hypothetical scenario. You may get a good player that makes an impact for you. You may get a Mozzie Smith. You may get a Taco Charlton. You may get a Morris Claiborne. Draft picks aren't guaranteed. These players are. So to add a guy like a George Pickens, you could give up a first round draft pick, absolutely, and then still sign him to a contract afterwards and have a guy locked up that is going to be a guaranteed superstar, right? Versus a hypothetical, which is a draft pick. So I don't know, man. If I'm a GM, I swear every year for me would be like the Rams. Oh, fuck them picks.
I agree.
And obviously, I know you can't trade for every superstar in the league because you do have a salary cap. But the Dallas Cowboys have the second most money in the league. Jerry could have been making moves, man. He could have been making moves before this trade deadline. There's nobody in the world can convince me he had to wait until this last week. I think he could have made it a week or two earlier.
And I looked at Over the Cap, and I saw my man Mikey Schefter on there. My boy, he had a terrible week. He had a terrible week watching his Canes. So I feel for you, but I hadn't seen him. I hadn't seen Mikey since all this happened. I've been from Dallas to Houston. But the thing I would say too is when you're looking at the Cowboys, Clark is a 21 million cap savings. Terrence Steele has played his last season in Dallas. He's $18 million savings. They can cut him. It just ain't, it's not, the juice ain't worth it. That ain't worth the squeeze. So the Cowboys have plenty of cap space. They can sign Pickens. They can go get someone else. What are they going to do with Diggs? We don't know, but that would be another one. Dak is going to stretch out his deal. He's got to, obviously the way the salary cap works, there's accelerated money and this and that. I think he's like a $75 million cap hit. The way the contract structured, that's going to get stretched out. CD could get it. The Cowboys. That's why I'm saying their window is now. They have an opportunity to really make something happen if they do their smart moves. And I hate. Listen, guys. The season ain't done for me. I'll never give up. But I hate that we're talking about next year, and it's November 5th or whatever the hell day it is. I'm kind of losing track. And my Canes fell apart. My Cowboys fell apart. I'm on the Texas band. Is it next week? You guys got the game? Is it next week or this week? When are we going?
Saturday. This Saturday.
This Saturday. So this Saturday, our Texas Tech that's all I got hope for. Our Texas Tech Raiders. Red Raiders. We're gonna handle that business. I'm gonna go buy me a hat. I'm gonna get on the bandwagon. If you allow me, am I allowed to pass? Can I get one pass?
Hey, you get in, man. I was rooting for your Hurricanes. I mean, you tell me, man, because I didn't get to see the game. I was with family that day, and so I had some things going on. I traveled up to Sioux City to be with some family, so did not get to watch the Hurricanes game. What in the hell happened?
You know what happened is it's a typical. I hate to say it. It's our coaching, and Mario gets conservative, and you end up with just coaching scared is what I like to call it. Coaching scared. Now a couple bad penalties. I would say clear. If you go watch, Michael Irvin was on the sideline. Clear pass interference seals the game. They didn't call it, so we had to punt. If they would have called it, game's over. So then we have to punt. Then we got them on 4th and 7. 4th and 7. Timeout is called. The referees blow the whistle late, but the ball's already snapped. We go in, and our defensive end wraps around the quarterback, but he doesn't drop, but he just wrapped around him and they held on to him. They called a personal foul after the play. 15-yard penalty, gave them the field goal to go into overtime. It was bullshit. Now, we didn't play good, but I'm not crying about losing. They didn't deserve to win because of the way they should have smoked that team. Couple bad calls, but we have a coach that he coaches scared. And I'm seeing a little trend a little bit because I'm thinking my Cowboys are coaching scared. And it's really disappointing because you have a lot of talent on that team and you just didn't take advantage of the talent that they had. Throwing passes behind the line of scrimmage, had some drops, whatever, but it was bullshit. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not
Well,
going to say that, head to head, we beat Notre Dame, that should, count for something. But, if you can't win your conference, to me, you don't deserve to cry about it. So if Georgia Tech loses, we got an opportunity. I mean, the door was open for us and we didn't bust the door in, and we screwed up. So I'm hoping Texas Tech takes that as a lesson. Now, I know BYU is good. You're playing a good team, but you're at home. Your fans, they need to be hyped up, and your team needs to be ready. And you guys can handle that business, man. I got faith in Texas Tech. They got some studs, and you gotta have to send a message to those Mormons.
So I'll say a couple things. For one, I will say this: in the college football that I have watched this year, I think officiating has been some of the worst that I've ever seen. I don't know if it's an epidemic in college football where their refs are just absolute idiots, but I'm telling you right now, the Texas Tech football game versus Kansas State this last weekend was an absolute horseshit of it. I saw things that I thought that a 7-year-old would know. I mean, a guy literally caught a pass but dropped it going down to the ground, which is an incomplete pass, and they called it a catch and a fumble. It was an incomplete pass. I mean, even the announcers, even the ref that's on there that comes and answers the questions goes, yeah, that's an incomplete pass. I'm not sure what they're looking at here. They called it a catch and a fumble for Kansas State. And it was like it was a big gainer. It was like a 30-yard gain. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then there was a catch that one of our guys, a catch that our guy punched out. It was an absolute fumble. They called it an incomplete pass because he didn't have control. Then literally the very next play, a guy does make an incomplete pass that our guy punches out, and they call that a fumble. And I'm going, what are we doing? Like, it was terrible. It was terrible. But in terms of the fans,
but money, hey, I see it in the chat, and I'm remote, so I can't post anything. I think you're kind of the same way, so it's hard to post the chat. So I apologize. The comments, great comments in the chat. Definitely like, subscribe, all that good stuff. There you go. Appreciate it. You saw what happened in the NBA, and it's got to make you wonder. It's got to make you wonder some of these calls and some of these decisions and who they want to win and how they want it to be. Some of these calls, you scratch your head and you're just like, what the hell's going on? And you're looking at the lines, you're looking at there's a lot of money going. I mean, this is a lot of money changing hands with gambling. And I mean, players, it's not that hard to, drop a pass or do this and that. And it ain't that hard for an official. You could call holding, you could call fumble, you can call stuff almost on every play if you wanted to. So do you think there's, with just the explosion of online betting and everything, it's tempting and makes you wonder if some shady shit's going on?
It's hard not to think about it, but when I go down that rabbit hole, it really depresses me because then I think that the integrity of sports is gone. And when I think about it like that, not to take away from it because I love it just as much as everybody does, but like wrestling, you know that the outcome is predetermined, right? And that
don't
just
tell Bugsy that.
For me, that's kind of started to take away some of the, sometimes it's like, it's like I like wrestling, but it's like, I don't know, if you go for a while without watching, then you go back, you don't really relate with none of these dudes and storylines. And you're like, I know how this is going to go. I've seen it.
And when you were a kid, you believed it, right? You believed it.
When you're a kid,
when Andre the Giant ripped Hogan's chain, you were upset. You thought, how does that make
Yeah, you were hyped and you were pumped. So yeah, I just can't go down that rabbit hole, because then if I do, I start getting really discouraged to be like, why am I even watching this shit? You know what I mean? Like if it's pre-rigged and if I'm never gonna have a chance, or my team may not have a chance. So I don't know, but it does absolutely get called into question, because I've seen some crazy calls. That, I mean, you've got replay, man. You've got replay, so you know that there's people buzzing down there. You can't tell me they don't got dudes up in the booth that are watching this going, hey man, hey, it's not a penalty. Nope, that's not a catch. That incomplete pass. Yeah. Like there's so many cameras. It's just so hard to miss blatant calls like that. And yet you see it every weekend in college football. If you watch it enough, they may not show it on ESPN and they're like, oh, horrible, but there's a lot of them, man. I've seen a lot of them and it's just bad. But I mean, as far as Texas Tech being pumped up, dude, I saw it today. It's the second time in 17 years that College Game Day has come to Lubbock, Texas. The last time was 2008 when we upset the Texas Longhorns, the number 1 ranked Longhorns in Lubbock. It's always an insane atmosphere. That they've already got over 1,100 students right now that are camping out as of tonight on Wednesday night. Wow. 1,100 students camped out, have started camping out since Monday. Listen, there's people talking about why don't they make this game a night game? I don't think these students could handle what they're going to go through getting to this night game. These student section and these fans are going to be so turned up. Listen, the game is 11 o'clock, and I promise you,
it's an early game?
It is 11 o'clock in the morning. It's the first game to start the day.
Wow.
Listen, they are going to be absolutely rocking. I know a lot of people are like, man, 11 a.m. start for Texas Tech. That doesn't really give, the fans a lot of time. Trust me, this is going to be one of the most amazing atmospheres. And I'm just saying this because obviously I got some bias, but I have been to some huge games. I was there at the Longhorn Texas Tech game, the upset. It was the best atmosphere that I have been to in my entire life. Top to bottom, top tier, just absolutely insane. So I know Texas Tech and all of Lubbock is going to turn up. And Patrick Mahomes is going to be in the house. He's actually going to be, I think, the guest picker on game day. You've got a lot of the old school greats. I saw Taj Brooks, leading rusher for Texas Tech, tweeted out he's going to be there. They're going to have, they're going all out. Red carpet's coming out. It's going to be a game.
Zach Thomas going to be there. Zach Thomas
will be there. They got all the greats, man. And I'll say this right now: the line that shocks me the most was that the last I saw that Texas Tech is a 10.5 point favorite against BYU.
Are they really?
That's what I listen. I haven't verified it. But I saw a tweet today that said that Texas Tech versus BYU, Texas Tech was a 10.5, which I think is crazy if that's truly the case. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Can we get someone in that chat to go look it up and confirm it?
It is 10.5.
It is. Wow.
10.5 point favorite. Texas Tech is a 10.5 point favorite against BYU, and BYU is the number 8 team in the nation. So we're one spot below at number 8. I think that's a big spread for this game, but maybe the odds makers know something I don't. I will say this: you've got BYU, who is a run-heavy offense, and Texas Tech boasts the number 1 run defense in all of college football. That's better than Ohio State. That's better than any other team in the nation. That's number 1, and they are led by an absolutely just enormous front 7. Jacob Rodriguez, one of the most underrated linebackers in all of college football. 7 forced fumbles and 2 interceptions through 8 games. That is more than a turnover per game. That dude is absolutely just amazing. Underrated linebacker. He's undersized. He's 6'1", 235. But I'll tell you right this. Todd McShay, there's a YouTube clip. He just did a clip on Jacob Rodriguez. You got to go watch it, what McShay says about him. He says that he probably won't be a day 1 pick, probably not a day 2. He'll probably go day 3. But whoever gets him is going to get a player because he's an instinctive linebacker. He just is always around the ball. And for those of you that's not seen Texas Tech play, if you watch Tech versus BYU on big game Saturday, you are going to see Jacob Rodriguez, in my opinion, one of the best linebackers in all of college football. He just jumps off the screen every single time he plays. 2 forced fumbles against Kansas State, and both of them in big games, big situations in the game. So I'm excited, man. It's going to be a huge game. And I am very disappointed because I wanted an opportunity for Texas Tech and Miami to meet in the college football playoffs, and it was
We're
First,
hanging on by a thread. We got the
yeah.
same chance that Cowboys do. I think we're like 10% chance. I mean, we're hanging on by a thread.
Well,
But
you will.
the interesting thing I would say that's interesting is, and I'm learning from Uncle Cheech, and we have to try and get him, see if I can get him on before the show because I'd love to get his opinion on it. But typically, watch the spread. Watch the spread. And when I look at the spread and you're saying 10.5, it makes me think Vegas wants heavy money on BYU. They want people to look at that spread, say, how the hell I'm putting my money on BYU getting that spread 10.5. And that tells me that Vegas thinks Texas Tech is going to roll them.
Yeah.
That's what it
And
tells me.
yeah, no. And here's the thing. That's kind of what I thought too. I looked at the same exact thing as you. And then I just think that this team is going to be the most hyped that they've been all season for this game. And that crowd in Lubbock is absolutely going to contribute. I've seen it happen, and I have seen that crowd take over a game, and they are absolutely from start to finish going to absolutely be deafening. It will be the loudest place that BYU has played at all season long and will play at all season long. And I think this Red Raider team absolutely has the chance to take BYU and blow them out. And if they do, their last two games is UCF and West Virginia. They won't lose either one of those games. That'll roll them right into the Big 12 championship game. And from there, there's a few teams right now out there that they could end up playing, but I think they would win against anyone. So it's a big game, man. It's a big game. And yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm going to be up bright and early, and I'll be ready to go.
Well, I'm selfishly, I wish it was a night game, but for me to be able to watch it, I'm glad it's a day game because I will be able to watch it. I got a wedding on Sunday, so I will be able to watch the whole game. So I'll be glued to the TV. That's going to be a big one, and I'm going to be screaming for them Red Raiders. Might have to go get me a T-shirt. Might have to support the boys. I'll go get me a T-shirt, be ready. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. And that's the beauty of college football, man. College football, to me, this type of game, this is like NFL can't trump it. And I'm a huge NFL guy, but when you're in an atmosphere like this, an NFL stadium cannot contend with a big college football game.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
And that's the thing too, is that it's funny because the best atmospheres and the most electric atmospheres that I've ever been to have been in college.
Yeah.
It's college football and honestly college basketball when it gets into the tournament, when you go to those games, or even if you go to a game down in Lubbock, a big Monday game or something during the season, those atmospheres are just, they're different, man. And Saturday it's gonna, I keep telling people, man, I've been tweeting it out all week long. I said, listen, if you ain't seen a game and you haven't watched Texas Tech play on live TV when they're at home in an atmosphere like this, you got to watch it, man, because it's crazy. And to be there, it's even more crazy. Like, to be there, it's unforgettable. It's memorable. But even watching it on TV, you are going to hear the noise through the TV. That crowd is just going to take over the game. Start to finish, they're going to, and then that team, it's going to hype that team up. And when that team is hyped, I don't know that there's many teams in the nation that have been better than Tech this year, despite their one loss. But, I can look back at that loss and say it was on the road with our backup quarterback who played an absolute shit of a game. And we still were in the end, had a chance to win that game and ended up losing it by 3 points. So this team is a good team. The future is bright ahead of them. So we'll see. I'm excited though. Get this win and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's how Mikey put 20. We're 20.5-point favorites over Syracuse. Yeah, Miami's got they got a long road ahead, but we're gonna see what happens. I mean, it's the beauty of college football. Anything can happen. You don't know what's happening in the ACC.
Never know if we
Miami's
lose.
got to get in that championship game. That's their only really hope they have, is to get in the ACC championship, get back up there, and then hopefully the people look at that Notre Dame, win, and look at the beating that we put on some of these other teams early on. But it's, people think about what you did lately, and what the Miami's done lately just hasn't been good football, and they don't deserve it. So I don't get pissed if they don't. It's just like last year, they shit the bed, like Mikey put on there, 21-0 to a team. You lose that game, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs. So that's what I love about college football, is you got to earn your way in. So we'll see what happens, but I'm definitely loving it. So what else did we miss anything else that let's see, we trying to think of anything else exciting. We had a great time and missed you in Dallas. I think obviously hanging out with Cuts, and Mark got us home safe. A little worried about his driving. He had some trouble at night. He almost went on the wrong side of the road. He'll deny it, but I had to just wake him up real quick and say, I think you're turning too sharp. You're going down the wrong side of the road. We'll see. He denies it, but I don't know. Worried about him, but it's going to be good. The other thing I would say is I did book my ticket, and I talked to Eugene. He was out at the tailgate. We're out there hanging out, and I missed him because I had the opportunity to do the field passes, so I had to take advantage of that. But the watch party, I did book my flight. Cuts is going to be there. I've already booked it, so I'll be there for the Raider game. And Eugene, he gave me some names, and I said, Eugene, you better have a heavy hitter, because after what we saw against the Cardinals, if you don't have a heavy hitter being out there, it might just be me, you, and Cuts hanging out at the watch party. So he told me that, and it's not confirmed, so let me confirm it, but Tony Dorsett is the name that's being floated out for that watch party on Monday night. If that is, that's dream come true for me. I hope that if it is true, you're able to kind of get away Monday and jump on the show, because I think an opportunity for us
Oh
to
yeah.
have, Tony Dorsett in the cave, you can't pay
Oh
it.
yeah,
I don't think
bro.
anyone's going to pass that up. So,
No, hell yeah.
so that's the plan. It's supposed to be Tony Dorsett and Jay Novacek. But it was either Tony Dorsett, Jay Novacek, Tony Casillas. It was going to be two of the three. And I said, well, just make sure you get Tony Dorsett. So I think that is going to be the plan. And it's in at Boyd Farm, Levon, Texas. And the plan is next season, we're going to be a bigger part of it. This kind of came up late, so we're going to put some stuff together, get a bigger part of it, be out there more live. So it's going to be exciting. So stay tuned for that. We got a lot of stuff going on in the cave. I know the season is kind of been a little down what's happened, but we'll keep you hyped up, and I think we got some good things in the works for this channel. So make sure, if you guys are new, there's over 500 of you here, man. Kelly and I and the crew. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. All that kind of good stuff, man. It's we're gonna have a good time, man. We're real fans, right? We get pissed at each other. We get pissed at the
Absolutely.
Cowboys. But the one thing I know, and I know about Kelly, don't ain't no outsider better be talking shit about our Cowboys, because you're gonna pay a price. He might get suspended and put in Twitter jail, but he ain't gonna let no one talk shit about his Cowboys unless you're a Cowboys fan.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely, man. It's us, man. It's a dysfunctional family, but it's our family. So yeah, we
Absolutely,
goddamn right.
absolutely. So yeah. Anything else you wanted to cover? I didn't mean to jump on. I don't want to ruin the flow. I
No,
know
man.
you've been on for an
I'm
hour
glad
and
you
20, man.
No, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you helped wrap this show up and put a bow on this baby, as they say. But man, it was a good night. Love talking some good football, man. And no, it's just good having you on. We got everything covered. We did, was only thing that we can hope now is that maybe something magical transforms in the bye and this team starts winning and all the teams in front of us start losing. I guess that's about the last
Hey,
thing that we can.
the thing we can leave them with, and it's the only hope we've got. Cowboys were 3-5 when they made the Amari trade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that means that they got a shot. They got a shot, but I think at this point it's one game at a time. We just try and be 1-0 and just enjoy those victories and see what happens. Right?
Anything is possible. Anything is
Yeah.
possible. You can't rule out anything. So
No.
in the night on a positive note, because I know there was a lot of negativity tonight in the show, and I know when I started off, I probably did a good 20 minutes of negativity on this, but I just it's frustrating as a fan to be where we're at, and that's just kind of where we are, man. We got to ride this thing out and hope that there are brighter days ahead, and try to find the bits of optimism and the rays of
and I'll just
cloud.
leave it at this. And I tell people, and people like I should have apologized. I had and I didn't answer it the right way, on Twitter, but people make these comments when we lose, and they'll say, Mike, you look like you wasted a lot of money this weekend when I went to the game. And I always say this is like, I spent a nice long weekend hanging out with my wife, had a beautiful time. I hung out with Cuts. I hung out with Mark. Got to hang out with Jesse Holly. Went to the games, did so many good things, and I'll never waste money. And I said something, and I didn't mean to be arrogant about it. I said I got plenty of money, and I didn't mean it that way. I sometimes get sarcastic about it because I don't like when people question how I spend my money or how you spend your money. But I had a great time. The Cowboys lost, McCain's lost, but I got to hang out with Cuts. I got to hang out with Mark. I got to meet a couple new fans of the channel. They were obviously looking forward to meeting you, and you weren't there, of course, but the next tailgate they want to go to, that is, you can't put a price tag on that. So
Yeah.
I'll never waste money going out seeing the Cowboys. And I want them to win. Believe me, I don't want to go I don't want to see the Canes lose and the Cowboys lose live in person. Ain't nobody want to do it. But I will never leave pissed off and thinking I pissed my money away because I got an opportunity to hang out with some true friends and meet new people, make new friends and new connections with Cowboys Nation. And that's why Kelly and I started this channel, and that's why we do the tailgates, and that's why we do everything we do, is because it's bigger than the Cowboys. It's bigger than football because, and I maybe I'm speaking for you. Hopefully I am. If not, I'm sorry. But the friends that we've made and the connections that we've made through this channel and through our stupid little sometimes videos and being funny and being angry, you can't put a price on that, man. Getting to be friends with you and really family between you and Cuts and Mark and Doug, and I don't want to name names, Dave. I see so many people on here. I don't want to start rambling off names, but you ain't putting a price tag on that. And that's what this channel's about, man. We're going to vent, we're going to get upset, and we're going to bitch and moan. But at the end of the day, we're all one, man. And we all want a championship and we want it. But don't ever tell me or Kelly or Cuts that we wasted our money going out to hang out and watch a Cowboys game and spend a weekend with, meeting new people and hanging out with friends, man. That's the way it is. I don't know. I didn't mean to get too either
You
emotional,
almost
angry,
made
or
me
be in that
cry over here,
attitude.
Mike. I was at a
I
little
know,
tear
but I
go
mean,
down
it's
there.
just like, doesn't it
Somebody
irritate you
cutting
when people
under?
say that shit to you, man? I'm just sorry, man. It just
Yeah,
pisses me off.
I don't really give a shit what nobody says, though. You know what I mean? I don't. I try not to let it get to me, but I've been called so many goddamn names and so much shit people say. I don't even give a shit no more. You know what I mean? Let
No,
it
I
roll
know.
off
I shouldn't.
like
But
water
when they
off a
talk
duck's
about
back.
money, man, money is a sensitive thing because I take, the money
Yeah.
that I put towards going to these trips, just like you do, man. You put this money aside. It means more than you're not going just for the football game. The football game to me has
No,
always been icing
no,
on the
man.
cake,
You're right. You're right. It is. It's all about it's all about the relationships that have been built and the memories made. And I mean, because I've made so many going to these Cowboys games and having the tailgates and the people that I've met. And you know what I mean? I remember, many of them, man, and many good memories, and they just keep getting better every single year, man. So it already it's
Yeah.
funny because we have our tailgate, and I know that I had several people tell me, and I felt the exact same way, but people coming up to me going, "Man, I can't wait till next year's tailgate." Like, but as we're leaving the tailgate, like it's not even over yet, and they're just already ready for next year's tailgate. You know what I mean? And
Putting the
I feel
pressure
the
on
same.
us.
I feel the same way, though. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that it's just like getting to meet all these people, get everybody coming out there and all that. It's just a beautiful thing, man, and I love it. And I love meeting fellow Cowboys fans and people that are as passionate as we are, and the stories we hear from where people come from and how they became Cowboys fans, and that they've been watching us on here for years, you know what I mean? Or they've been following us on Twitter for years and finally getting a chance to meet us. And I'm just as excited to meet them as they are to meet us. Like, I'm like, like I've been following you for a long time. Like, it's awesome, dude. So yeah, fuck them people that talk about that and try to make you feel bad about spending it. It ain't their goddamn money. Quit pocket watching. Let us do what the hell we want. And for the people that tell me, because what bugs me is when people say, "Well, every time I see you bitching about the Cowboys in a post game, you're suited up in Cowboys." Yeah, I still wear my Cowboy shit out in public.
Damn right.
I don't give a damn if we had 2 wins. I'm still sporting my shit. I'm still a fan. I'm still representing. I'm always going to stay representing. Ain't nothing you say going to ever change that or shame me into being embarrassed about being a Cowboys fan. Because I still love my goddamn team until the day that I die. That's my team. Ain't never jumping off. So
Yeah.
To hell with them people.
Well said, man. And I appreciate it, brother. And love you guys. Love you, Kelly, Mark, all you guys in the chat, Dave. I'm trying to go through the list. I see cuts in there, of course, but definitely appreciate all the support. We're gonna enjoy this next few games, man. It's I don't want to say it's stress free, but we're gonna go in there and
Pretty
just see what
much.
happens, man. Be 1-0. We want to be 1-0. Enjoy the bye, get healthy. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kelly, for letting me steal some of the time. I came on late. I didn't want to mess the flow, but definitely appreciate it, man. I'll let you sign us off.
All right, man. Cowboys Nation, thank you for everybody coming in the show tonight, man. We enjoyed chopping it up with you guys as always, and we will be back next week. We're still doing a show on the bye week, right? Getting ready for Las Vegas. All right, just making sure we're doing the show, getting ready. We'll be getting ready for Vegas anyway. So yeah. All right, Cowboys Nation. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
See.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.